All right, welcome back. Last video I did was on must-have budget bourbons or relatively budget bourbons. They were sub $40 around here. Again, prices geographically vary. Caveat on that. Also, some bourbons are easier to find than others in certain areas, so caveat that as well. But today, we're going to step it up a little bit to what I consider moderately priced bourbons. So around the $45 to $55 range. Some may run you maybe 56, 57, somewhere along in there. But at least around here, this is what we can get. So let's just get right into it. All right, you can see the lineup here. If you can't see it, scroll around. I'll try to make it a little tighter, but if you have the visors, you can just look around. If you have the computer, scroll a little bit, up, down, whichever way you want to go. But these are what I consider a good mix of bourbons to have on your shelf that are the moderately ranged price bourbons. There are certainly other bourbons out there. I have a lot of bourbons to choose from, but I chose these based on the differences between them. And I do want to talk about Michter's a little bit when we start getting into the harder to find bourbons. But for right now, Michter's is going to give you just a nice, good toasted, regular, normal bourbon, smooth as all get out. The Blade and Bow, they use what they call a Solera aging. Some other people use it as well. And I know the hype that they give you on there about how some of the old stuff's still there. It's probably not there anymore, but it doesn't matter. It does create a layer of complexity. So you do get more tobacco notes and more wood notes, leather notes and things out of Blade and Bow. And I think it is a good transition from your typical bourbon notes into a darker bourbon. The Baker's 7-year, this one is a little higher proof. Now, when we start getting into the higher price bourbons, a lot of times you get into a little higher proof and they cost more. When we talk on the next video, when I talk about the higher price bourbons, around $100, between like $75 and $100 up in that range. Typically, you're going to get barrel proofs, cask strengths, things like that, and they charge more because they don't dilute it down. They just bottle it right where it is. So they get fewer bottles out of the barrels, and they send that price on to you. But it does have to have a decent quality to it before people are going to spend that kind of money on it. So, we get into a finished bourbon here. Among these is Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. If you like Woodford Reserve, you will love Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. They put it in a heavier charred barrel and age it a little bit longer. So you do get more of those wood notes and charred notes out of there. Can't go wrong with the barrel proof rare breed. I think for a barrel proof, and this one is 58.4% by volume. 116.8 proof. And typically, I think I've said this before, when you start getting into the bourbons that say point this and point that, they're not adding water to it at all. This is coming straight out going to you. If they do, I don't know, they may be doing it, but like Baker's is 53, this is 107 proof. But these are good prices on these based on their proofs. Now, some of these are a little lower, and they have the batch numbers and all that on the Michter's and everything. This one, I believe, 45.7. It's 91.4 proof. So really your average line for bourbons, from what I find, like looking at tons of different bourbons, is about 45. About 90 proof, 45%, 90 proof. That's a marker. And then you can go a little below that, down in the 80 proof ranges, and then well above it, up into the 120s and things like that, and even higher. So, but bourbon, I forget the max alcohol content it can have going into the barrel. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. But I know it does have a cap on it. So you're not going to get a PGA, type, pure grain alcohol level bourbon. But I do appreciate the higher alcohol contents on the bourbons. But these are typically easy to find. Now, the ones that I had listed that made the cut, we're going to talk about Michter's a little more. One of them is Eagle Rare. Depending on where you live, it's very, very difficult to find Eagle Rare. And I will tell you, the superior bourbon to me is Eagle Rare over Michter's. But if you put them side by side, they are close, really close. So if you really want to enjoy the creaminess and the sweetness and the notes you get off of Eagle Rare, Michter's, this is the small batch US1, just Kentucky straight bourbon. Now, be careful, Michter's makes a ton of stuff, right? All through the ranges. But this is the moderately priced small batch bourbon. Eagle Rare gets you a little more into the woody notes, a little more in, little deeper, maybe into the molassesy stuff, away from the caramel, but this is still good and toasty right here. It's really, really close. So with so that was the Eagle Rare one. Now the other ones that I would certainly have up here, Stag Junior is another one, and the Blanton's. Hang on, I made a note down here. Let me the Blanton's single barrel, and then just the regular Stag Junior. The price range, of course, varies. If it's rarer to get in your area, they tend to price it out more. But if you can find it, for around $55, it's certainly worth it. And that's about the range on these, about $55, somewhere along in there. I think you can get typically around here, I can get Woodford Reserve for just under $50. And the double oaked is like $5 or $6 more, maybe $53, $54, somewhere along in there. To me, totally worth the $5 or $6. Totally worth it. So and all of these prices are based on 750 milliliter. So all of my bottles, except for one bottle I have, because it was a W.L. Weller Special Reserve, and I got the liter bottle of it for the same price as other bourbons. It's about $36 for a liter of it. So I went on ahead and got it. But W.L. Weller Special Reserve, I mentioned it in the last video on the budget bourbons. So, but these are good. So if you have that lineup of budget bourbons that I had up here, and you add these 5 to it, you're going to have a hell of a shelf. Now, people are going to prefer certain things. Certainly, Old Elk could have made the cut. Russell's Reserve certainly could have made the cut. Breckenridge. I mean, but those are some of those are blends, and it's just these edged them out. Just put it that way. These edged them out. So if you have those 5 and these 5, I'll give you the next 5 on the next video. And if you get that, you'll have 15 bourbons of all kind of ranges, and I guarantee you, you'll be set. Anyone that walks in your house will be like, wow, dude, you have a great collection of bourbon. Now, they may say, do you have this? Do you have that? And yeah, jot the notes down, collect it over time. But this is how you get your start, okay? And you can't go wrong with this lineup right here. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. As always, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell down there for notifications, and I promise I'll keep bringing you these videos.